Welcome to Grrr, It Happens. I'm Mindy Stearns, and to know him is to love him. He is a CEO, an entrepreneur, outlier, overcomer, storyteller, visionary, victor, mentor, father, brother, underdog, ex, and a doctor. And my husband. That's right. This is Glenn Stearns, and you're listening to Grrr, It Happens.
Thank you for that.
I threw that other one in there.
Wonderful applause. Yes.
Yeah, that's
a new one.
Yeah. Well, you always have been, but it just seemed more appropriate today.
You know, if you don't mind, I would like to introduce
Fine.
the guest.
Sure. By all means. I'm very excited.
Perfect. Okay. So I'm here to introduce a guest that I happen to know very, very well.
Intimately, perhaps?
Intimately.
Or did. Ew.
As a matter of fact. And an ooh out of my guest who I haven't even introduced yet.
Ew.
So, I am sitting, folks, with two of my favorite women.
Baby mamas.
Number one and number two of my life.
Aw.
I mean that.
But we won't say which is which.
Right.
No, we won't.
Well, you were first.
No.
You were first. So you get that number one.
There you go. You're number one.
I wasn't sure.
This, folks, is my ex-wife and my wife. Number one, number two.
First wife, last wife. That's how
right.
it's supposed to be, right?
That's how it's supposed to be. And we're here to talk to you about how
you didn't get killed.
I didn't get killed in this whole transformation of life, let's call it.
Well, let me just interject here. I love this woman. I just want to say that right now. She is a friend, a co-parent, someone I respect and admire and have from day one. And I will say one of the reasons that you really solidified yourself in my heart was when our first dinner, you talked about her so respectfully. And this is a note for men. Let me just tell you something. How you speak of the woman that was your ex or didn't work out, how you speak of her says more about you than her. You could paint a really bad picture, but you look like a D word. So he spoke really highly of her, that she's the mother of his children. She will always come first in his life when it comes to his kids. And, you know, she's had a big part of his life. And I respected so much that dialogue when we first met that it lodged in my heart as a check mark in positivity for your character.
You said I was a nice guy, but then why do you call me a dick later?
Well, because you've morphed.
There you go.
The true you has come out.
No. But I would
You're
say,
putting out a good impression.
before you speak, you know what I had, and you remember this very well, Amber. I had a couple after she and I went our separate ways. I had a couple of relationships where the women were not very friendly towards anything that happened in my past. Yes, and so it was real quickly that I learned I am not going to live my life like that. I do not want to live a nervous life over tap dancing around the fact that I had a past. I have children. I have a wonderful ex-wife. And so that was, you lay it out there, because if you've got a problem with it, it's real simple. Then thank you, goodbye, right? Or thank you, next, however the song goes.
Thank you.
You know?
To quote Ariana Grande.
Exactly.
So I want to just, her name is Amber Urone now. That's your married name. Mm-hmm. Was Amber Stearns for a long time. You're a teacher. Your students absolutely love you. Your family loves you. Our daughters love you. We have 2 little girls. She's the godmother, and many other things too has integrated into her life. Amber gave me sons. I gave her daughters. And you had Charlene. And so you kind of you had some daughters, but she was older, so it wasn't.
That's right. So how are you feeling, Amber?
I feel good.
There you go. You know, when you came to me, and we'll fast forward to the end, and you said, you know, I'm a little nervous. I'm getting married again, and I just wanted to let you know. And I remember my words to you. I said, so is he really going to change his name to Stearns? He's Nathan Stearns. That rings a nice bell. But it didn't work that way. You changed your name.
I did mostly.
Mostly, yes.
It's not the most convenient thing to do.
No.
So I have to admit, on my insurance card, I am still Amber Stearns.
There you go. All
Perfect.
right.
So,
use it when it works.
I do use it.
Use it when it works.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of kept mine too. sort of, in some circles.
There you go.
And some you hide it, and some you show it.
Yeah.
Right.
So for all the people out there, and this goes for life, and this goes for business, this goes for whatever you want. All right. It's never about like life going perfect, right? It's about when things don't go exactly the way you plan it, that you feel pretty good about how you handle it. And going through a divorce is not exactly a pretty thing.
No.
And it's not fun, but looking back, you know, a lot of times I think when you look back in history, you allow yourself to forget about some painful things. But for the most part, I'm very proud of how we got through things. Our children are very well adjusted. And we ended up very, very close and very good friends. Mm-hmm. And that's the best you can ever expect out of a situation that doesn't go the way you plan it. It's that you're proud of the outcome.
I would agree. And I think you really have to look back and reflect. If you don't appreciate the things that went wrong, then you can't appreciate all of the good things that come from it. So.
Amen.
Amen.
100%.
And I remember when we were kind of going through our, like, what are we doing? How's this going to work out kind of thing. I remember how I was at the time trying to put myself 20 years ahead and go, okay, again, there's a lot of stuff I probably didn't do right? But I'm saying one of the things.
Wow. Did you hear that? That's on tape. That's actually.
I mean.
I'm going to save that.
Yeah. So
cut, record, please.
But the reality is, I remember saying, look, whatever happens, all I can tell you is whatever ends up being the outcome, I will do better than that. Like, that's all I can tell you. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I'm not trying to win. Like I don't. It's like in a divorce, you think of as a winner and a loser, or any thing that you go up against where you have a judge to decide who's going to win. I didn't want to win. It was painful, and I think we both.
Nobody wins in it.
Yeah, went through that.
Time.
Damn lawyers, they were the ones winning. I remember that. Oh man, I was like
opening some old wounds here.
Yeah, if I think about it, I remember.
Did you hire her lawyer for something else? Because
I've referred your lawyer so many times. I'm like, that guy was really, really good. He could drag me through the mud like nobody. But let's move on now. I would love to
hear from Amber, but obviously things didn't work out, and we've moved on, and we're all in a really great place now. A lot of people have asked me because you explained we've traveled together. We went around the world together. We have a blended family. She created 3 beautiful kids with Glenn, and then you also had one from your first baby mama, and then we brought 2, and so we had a big blended family of 6, and that can be murky. And we have spent a few times where we've been Christmas together, and all the baby mamas and all the sisters and everybody's there but Jerry Springer. And it works out great, right? So, but people say, how have you blended a family? How have you? Like, how have you guys gotten to this place? Because so many relationships are such a mess with formers, and it's really hard, and people struggle. Do you have in your mind reasons why you think this has worked?
Well, I can say with all certainty that the moment I knew everything was going to be okay was when Glenn asked me to come and meet you for the first time.
Aww.
And I had met several people before then, and it was several very unpleasant individuals. But I remember he said, please come over. I really want you to meet her. She's really special.
Aww.
And so I went, okay, wow, all right. And I just lived 2 houses down because we got to share a neighborhood.
That's right.
And I got all dressed. I'm like, okay, I'm going to make sure that I look good for this one. And you had, I think your curling iron broke or something. So had gone to Target to get a new curling iron, and you were upstairs getting ready. And I thought, okay, so she cares enough to get ready like I cared enough to get ready. And when you came downstairs, I remember you coming around the corner in the kitchen, and I looked at you and I went, oh my gosh, I really like her. You came and you hugged me right away. It was like not even a thought. There wasn't this weird, who is this woman and why is she here? And it was just, I left there happy. refreshed. And I was really happy for Glenn.
Yeah.
He didn't have a good picker up until that point, except for me. Obviously.
Well, and we're all only in control of ourselves, right? We can only do what we can do, and it was not easy, and I don't think it is. And again, we all are responsible for our own selves, and I'm very fortunate. We are.
Do you remember, I recall, and maybe you remember it differently, but I recall, after we got engaged, I reached out to you and just, in essence, basically said, look, I just want to be a support to you two in your marriage and raising the kids. I'm not here to replace you. I'm not their mom, but I just want you guys to know I have your back and whatever. I'm just a third party in this support and this village. Do you remember that?
I do.
And I think, and then you came to our wedding, and it showed the kids such a united front as acceptance. And I think that was very honorable of you to show up. I appreciate that you did that, because I felt it really, it displayed to the kids that we can do this, we can work through this, and you accepted me, and that allowed them to accept me too. I never heard them say, "You're not my mom." I never heard that ever in all the years. Because I didn't try to be. I just deferred to you. I deferred to him, and I just tried to support whatever you guys were doing. But I don't know if it's because you and I just how we were raised, but I think it's a choice.
Oh yeah.
To be how you can be. You can accept or you can deny.
Yep.
Well, I remember your wedding, obviously, and I don't know if you remember, but I wasn't going to go.
That's right.
It was the day of, and it was hard, not because I wasn't happy for you guys, but when you're married to somebody and you have a family, even though you don't want to be with them anymore and whatever.
Yeah.
You want to be with me, but that's okay.
Oh, stop. Let her tell her story.
Okay, sorry.
But there were things to work out, and I had to work that out for a long time. And it wasn't until that day I called and I said, "Is it okay if I still come?" And I felt really uncomfortable. I knew people were looking at me like, what is she doing here? Little did I know that would be the first of thousands of times that people would look at me and go, why is she here? But I remember watching it. I remember seeing the boys in their suits and everyone's so happy. And I was so happy for you guys. But it was...
That was hard.
It's a hard thing to work through, to be so happy for someone and yet also experience loss,
Yeah.
So
I just want to say how much I appreciate that, though. That shows your strength, that your initial reaction is something that's very real, very human, very raw, but to really look at, okay, I want to see my boys in this situation. I do want to witness and be part of this, and to call and reach out. That took a big step. That was a big step.
So, but I want to add, when I think about our wedding, one of the best highlights for me was that you were there. When I think, and I want to correct you on something, you just said how all these people must have said, "Why are you here?" or whatever. I don't think that's what they're thinking. I think they're thinking, what a wonderful person to come and be happy for someone else. I think they
may wonder, but they think, wow, I wish my ex or my,
so many
I wish
people say that
curiosity.
to me, which is the strength that you have for being able to, not let the past define who you are, and so I don't see people looking at you like, in a negative way. I see them looking at you in a very positive way.
Oh, I think it vacillates.
Yeah.
It depends on the person. I mean, if they're going through a hideous divorce and they hate their ex-wife or their ex-husband, and they are with someone that they enjoy, and they see the ex hanging around, their initial reaction is, why? I mean, I've had people come up to me and ask me, why are you here? And I'm like, well, I'm watching the kids. And, I don't know.
You're a strong person. You're a very strong person.
But it's okay.
Too.
It's something that you work through, and I love to be there now most of the time.
Yeah, we've had some fun things we've shared.
Good times.
The one quote that I love that's out there is like, "What other people think of me is none of my business." And I love the power of that quote, to just be like, it's not my business what they think of me. I don't care.
And one of my favorite quotes is, never measure yourself with someone else's ruler. And so the reality is you're yourself thinking about how happy you are for the kids, for us, and all this stuff. And I think most people looked at you. I didn't think anybody, matter of fact, looked at you other than what a strong. Well, I wish I could be like Amber. You know what I mean? Like you inspire people, Amber, when you're able to do that. And I think you do the same thing, Mindy. And you know, what a lot of you all out there don't know is, you know, when I ended up going through my cancer, we bought a boat and we decided to go around the world. And when we did that, it was a big boat. So we had the whole family on it and 16 crew. And we
hired your son.
I hired my son who was going to go to college.
Together, your youngest together.
And that was Amber's and my youngest boy. And we talked him out of going to college that year, but going and being a deckhand on the boat, the lowest deckhand. Again, out of 16 people, he was the lowest guy on there. And then we asked Amber if she would come on as the teacher and teach our 2 little girls. And, you know, while you were, quote, you know, an employee of the boat, sort of, you really weren't. Like you two became like best wine drinking buddies and all this stuff.
Working out, Aperol. I was thinking Aperol.
and so I loved. But when I think about our year and a half, and those are my favorite memories. Is probably not even the boat as much as we'd get in a car, because like the boat would go through the Suez Canal and it'd take 3 weeks to get to the Maldives or something, and we'd say, we don't want to be on the boat where you can be hijacked with pirates, so we'll go to
we had 3 weeks
Africa
around,
or India
Germany.
or Europe, and it'd be a car, me driving, ex-wife, 2 kids in the car. Where do you want to go? Look at that castle. Where do you want to go? Look at that. Or where do you want to go? I want McDonald's. And,
oh no, Führer.
So
Asphalt.
McFleur. McFuhrer. He wanted a McFuhrer.
1, 2.
yeah.
Glenn thought if he yelled louder, they would understand his English better, but they just looked at him like, you're crazy.
But it ended up really, that's probably my best memories, is just, you know, driving around and having us all there. And you know, the kids would get so, you know, pissed. Amber's mean. And we'd be like, that's your teacher.
Listen to her. And I think that's another element to back up a parent, because I think what happens a lot in families where there is a fight between the 2 that have separated to be the most favorite, you know, parent.
I never had that problem.
Yeah, you really didn't.
You didn't. It was very well known.
I knew the truth.
So did I.
Also, you spoke here's something that a lot of people, I think, back to when I first met you, you spoke very highly of Amber, but when you speak ill of the father of your children or the mother of your children, you're basically insulting their DNA, because that parent is part of them. When you insult the parent of them, even though it didn't work out with you, you are hurting that child that had nothing to do with why you broke up. And, you know, you guys, there was always laughter. There was always fun. I mean, we may have fought just one time.
One time. I never forget.
Wait, what?
We've
only fought one time?
No,
you mean
on our trip.
There was one fight, and that was, I remember where it was. We were in Europe. Too. We went to that hotel.
Rotterdam. Mm-hmm. It was in Rotterdam.
The kids were upstairs in the room. We said, let's go down for a cocktail. So the 3 of us do. We start talking. Life is good, isn't it? And then the 2 of you turn on me. Let me tell you how to father.
I don't remember the subject.
I remember it. It was on fathering.
I don't think so.
And you both
I think you were just wrong, period.
Yeah. I remember my exact word. Boom. And I walked out of there.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that's not how that went.
Yes, it is. I remember. And then both of you text me, I'm sorry. I'm like,
I don't remember that either. I think you're playing out that story very differently.
I remember it well.
I'm pretty sure I walked out first and said, we're divorced. I don't have to do this anymore. And walked upstairs.
No, both of you, I left both of you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not.
Anyway, it was a 5-minute fight. A 5-minute fight, and that was the only one, which I'm pretty proud of. I mean, you're both pretty ornery people, you know, and I have to put up with a lot. usually.
my.
Oh,
You know?
Glenn,
I mean,
Glenn. We
to
have
live
definitely like
with them is very difficult, folks.
I have found many times, you know, you guys would, if you had words and that you couldn't get them because he just says stupid stuff sometimes.
He doesn't listen well.
No. And so I would call and be like, let's talk. What's going on? Because then we could have a rational, non-emotional conversation about it. And that was the beauty of the friendship, really, the respect that we had for each other. And it was, you know, sometimes you don't get along for a reason. There's
Right.
it just doesn't. So there.
I just told that story, actually. It was really funny. I was telling Nathan that you and I obviously didn't always see eye to eye at all.
No.
So we would have these discussions, and he wasn't hearing me, I wasn't hearing him, and it would be very
Escalate,
loud,
yeah.
and then someone would ultimately hang up.
Mm-hmm.
And after you guys had come into the picture together and we had gotten closer, I don't know if the girls were around yet or not, but it was the first time that you called me. It was right after, I mean, literally, you must have called her and said, "Oh, Amber, blah." And you called and you listened to me. You let me say what I had to say. You actually agreed with me and understood how I felt.
But if I agreed with you, we both would be wrong.
Shut up. So
I
anyway,
love that line.
But then, I don't know what you're saying. And then you had the gall to tell me how he felt in the calmest, sweetest, most like understanding way. And I remember sitting there going, oh, wow, I'm going to have to do this. We're going to have to do this again. And then we would get in a fight. And I would wait for you to call me because I knew you were going to call and I was going to get to say what I had to say. And then I knew you would explain how he felt in a way that I could understand because he could not.
Yeah.
And it made it so much easier for me. I mean, having your translation, I don't know what it was.
I speak Glenese. I don't
You
know.
do, and you spoke mine, you know,
Yeah.
and I so valued and appreciated
Aw.
that. It was just, sometimes it took you a little longer to the call than others.
I might not have
needed
heard
to.
about it, like if I was close by, or I didn't know, or he wouldn't call me till later, and then I'd be like, "What?"
Or I would
So-
call you and say, okay, Mindy, now this is what happened. And I mean, that made such a humongous difference.
But I'll tell you, all that in reality, it doesn't happen overnight. And I'm saying this to
No.
other people out there who are either in a divorce or just finished or wherever they are, and they think, that'll never be me, right? And it can be you, again, if you just give it time and you keep trying to turn the other cheek.
Here's some, just to expand on this thought, what you're saying. We have a friend who was going through or went through a really ugly situation, and his comment to the ex when it's really fresh, while he's moved on and been infideled, and this has been discovered. While he said to her, well, you know, why can't we just be like Mindy, Glenn, and Amber? Like, he actually threw that out there, and she's like, what? Like, this new girl, he had cheated on her with her. So that's a little different. I wasn't like, I didn't break up your marriage. And so I think that's a different dynamic that can occur, that, you know, maybe it didn't, you know, we were lucky. We had a few years in between before we found each other, and you guys had been already divorced for a while. So, you know, that was the silver lining of that situation. But, you know, I understand that he wanted to aspire to what we had, but there was a lot of healing and separation that had to go through before you get there.
Yeah, that's my point, is it doesn't happen overnight. Nothing does,
Well, you have to want it to, and you have
Yeah.
to try.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That all comes with it. You know, if people have been scorned or they have divorced or they have, you know, dissolved their marriage, there has to be desire on each part to say, we want to do what's best for the kids and the family, and have a genuine, like, swallow my pride. Like, even, you know, and there's a lot of, you know, second wives that just are so jealous of the first wife because there's a relationship there, you know, and it's like, well, of course. I mean, I was so grateful. Like, what you created gave me the opportunity to be a stepmom to some beautiful people. You gave my parents, grandparents, grandkids, which they wanted so bad, and I knew I wasn't going to do that for a while. So I was like, this is great. It worked out.
But I've even seen, as an example of, you know, something that, again, I'm very proud of, is, you know, when you got married to Nathan, what an amazing guy, wonderful guy, right?
Love
like
Nathan.
Yeah,
Such
just
a good cook.
you know.
I'm so jealous.
But I look at Nathan and stop it.
It's amazing.
Let's dwell on Nathan for maybe I'm the insecure one here. Okay, Nathan knows how to cook. Nathan, what is it?
Nathan's tall.
Oh my God,
He's taller.
So
He's an amazing person.
oh my God,
Nathan, not a good one.
no, I really.
He inspired you to begin cooking, I hear.
He actually did.
Yeah,
I've heard about that.
Yeah.
One of the boys told me. I don't know if we're saying
Yeah.
yes or not.
He's cooking.
No, you know, I
That's
don't.
really exciting.
I don't eat, right, because of all the stuff that happened to me. So I figured I want to be part of the process. And when I watched
So he cooks.
Nathan enjoying that, I go, man, maybe I would like to do that. Like I said, be a part. I could be proud of the food everybody ate instead of just sitting there. So
That's a pivot. That's a good adaptation.
I've been doing that. But what I liked is because you had some, as we all do, some doozies like I had, and you know.
Not quite like his
No, but I mean is
dates.
people can be jealous of the other person, right? So there were some guys that were jealous of me, and I didn't want anybody to be jealous of me. I wanted them to love you and be good for the kids. And when all they can think about is, you know, can they be better than I was? You know, they got their eye on the wrong ball. And so, you know.
They had their eye on your ball.
Yeah, exactly. And so when Nathan came along, he was confident. He wanted to get to know me. I wanted to get to know him. You know, it was a great, the kids love him. You know, obviously you love him. He's, you know, very engaging, and it's been wonderful. And then to be invited to your engagement party.
That was such a
I
lovely
felt
engagement
so
party.
honored.
Our COVID engagement.
Yes.
It was the best.
And then you walk out in a damn wedding dress. We're like, what's going on? Actually, I didn't even notice the difference. I don't notice stuff like that. Everyone's like,
He's
look
like,
at her
did
dress.
she change? I'm like, yes, it's a whole new. Women notice this stuff, and I
And I'm
felt
like, what-
so honored to be there.
Yeah, and then it's not it's your wedding dress. So that was really nice to be a
like,
part
was
of
that
that, to be
her
included in your wedding.
That
Yeah.
was such a cool surprise.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was tough to do during COVID.
Oh my
With, like,
gosh.
We had like 3 times they had almost shut the hotel down, and they actually shut it down the Monday after.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
You
but
got
to
in
have
just in time.
to have you guys there and to have your dad there.
Oh, I love that he was
Yeah.
in
Love
you,
town.
My dad just passed away and
I
of
miss
COVID.
that man. Ugh,
Yeah.
stupid COVID.
So
But I felt very lucky to have you guys there. I'm sorry that the girls couldn't be there.
There'll be other celebrations.
yeah,
You've been in their lives
they're
so much.
in therapy. Don't worry.
I tried many times, but there were so many people that didn't get to be there.
Yeah, you had to
which
cut
was-
it
I know.
at
They-
some point.
you know.
Your parents weren't.
My parents weren't there.
Yeah, because that was a difficult situation too. So yeah,
With COVID. Yeah.
I feel honored that we were of the intimate crowd that was there. That was a beautiful occasion with a perfect sunset. Anyway, so this is like when you look, I am very happy for Amber, for you, for your success, for your happiness, for your joy. It makes me really happy to see that. And I love that we're planning new things together, and we still can come together like that. Nathan is a wonderful, confident guy, and he's a great addition to the family.
He's the best of people.
No, it's worked out wonderful. And then you send me these damn little. They're in the movie theater. They're eating popcorn. He took that popcorn by his lip. I don't know if you
I
noticed
know.
that.
Yeah, he's like,
And he went and took it out. I'm like,
know.
I would gross out
I
over
know.
that.
That's why I sent that to you.
Did you?
I wasn't going to until I watched it, and I went, "Oh, he's gonna gross out."
It's so funny. I noticed that. I noticed him take
was
it out
hilarious.
with his tongue. Yeah, but anyway,
Amber's got a very funny, twisted sense of humor, and I love it because it's like some of the things you've dropped at dinners when you're like, that's why I'm not married to him anymore. Good luck with that.
yeah.
You have to laugh.
I do, and we do. I think we have a lot of laughter. It's been a lot of fun.
The moral of the story is be like me and marry some really cool women.
Aw, that is cool. Attract a great gals.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to add? I know a lot of people have asked us to write a book. How do you blend these families? How do you do this thing? I think,
Oh my gosh.
I think it's about being true to yourself, true to your family situation, acting with respect, listening to the other party, letting go of your ego, and seeking to understand and being open to the possibility of creating something dynamic.
You know, I think you guys having the girls also had a big impact on our situation, because it wasn't just, you know, me sharing the boys with you.
Yeah.
It was also you sharing the girls with me. So I had a different perspective once the girls were around. It was very different. It was eye-opening for me. So I think we all had something that we gave, and we all had things that we took. But it was genuinely for love and for the kids and their best interest. But it was also for us, you know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got to have daughters, you know.
And they
Yeah, it worked out
adore
well.
you. They just adore you.
They are beautiful.
Yeah.
Became their
Beautiful
godmother.
girl.
It's been great.
It was beautiful. Well, I feel very blessed and very lucky. And I think, you know, I don't think anything worth having or something that you can celebrate doesn't come with a little bit of grit along the way. And that's what shines the diamond, you know, the pressure and the grit. And you can just create something really special if you're committed to it and you want to, and it takes a desire. So thanks for joining us,
Yay.
Amber.
Yeah.
Amber and I are going to go out and have a cocktail. See ya.
Yeah, exactly. I'm on my own again.
Thirsty. Aperol Spritz is calling. But anyway, so you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook, YouTube. Are we on TikTok yet? Are you on TikTok? I think we're getting on TikTok.
TikTok,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
You're all
We
over
went
the
viral
place.
the other day in Reels.
There and real.
Yeah,
so
and Instagram.
at Grit Happens, follow us and like us and follow, subscribe on YouTube, and tune in for another episode next time. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
You've been listening
if you need
to
an ex-wife. Oh, I don't have one anymore. She's
God.
married. Sorry.
Gosh, a minute too late. Where were you 4 years ago?
That's right.
I know. Well, you got a good one. You didn't even need
Yes,
this.
that's right.
You've been listening to, say it with me,
It happens. Hey. Thank you.